Hi guys, welcome to the new episode of Conversation Farters. Sorry about it being like 3 days late. A lot of personal stuff this weekend with parties and work. I didn't even get any drawing done this weekend, to be honest. But here's the episode. We didn't put images up this time, just the static GIF that Brett animated of me and him. As always, links in the description to everybody. Apologies to the viewers and the people who were not going to be showing their art on the screen today. Well, have a nice day and enjoy the episode. But we're not there yet. No. Okay, so today we're really low energy. What was I saying?
You were saying welcome back.
Okay, well...
So you're... Go ahead.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode... whatever the hell...
4. Oh, Bryce, 4.
Welcome back to Conversation Farters, episode 4.
Hi.
Hi. So today we're going to be talking about web comics and web artists.
Web creators.
Yeah. I like this topic a lot because there are so many. It's such a great medium. It's just comics online. It's an easy way to make comics.
I must admit, I feel under-equipped. This is definitely Bryce's area of expertise.
So I have a small list of people I want to talk about. And Brett has an even smaller list. The first couple people on my list, I like Jesse Moynihan, Tillie Walden, Anna Landin, and then just this one comic on Tapastic called Phantasmagoria by Anna that's really good, and I have a couple others. And Brett, who are you going to be talking about today?
I'm not sure if any of ours overlapped because I just zoned out, but I
don't think they did.
I have some of them I don't know the names of. I have All This Doubt, which is a beautiful webcomic on Tapastic by this very talented young lady who has to be, I'm positive she storyboards or animates for someone. Maybe you guys can let us know in the comments. So I have her. Her deviant art is Who Knew Who. I also have, all I have for his name is Try, and he's Trayvon or something like that. Yeah. He is the author of The Strange Tales of Oscar Zahn, which is a phenomenal webcomic that has a very unique sort of almost Hellboy-esque vibe. And it's
like Hellboy meets Rumble, but leaning towards Hellboy.
Yeah, and it's got like elements of mystery to it, and the main character, check out that design. Come on, that's so cool.
Yeah, and as always, we're going to put links to all these people in the description so you guys can enjoy them as well.
And then the final artist that I have is Louis Zong,
who you could talk about forever because he doesn't just do comics; he does so much stuff.
He is so talented.
He's extremely talented and inspirational.
Okay,
but I'll start off with one, I guess. Okay, so the first dude I'm going to talk about today is Jesse Moynihan. Now he started as like an alt comic guy, like alternative comics.
He did Manly, right?
Yeah, in the mid 2000s. He worked on Adventure Time for a long time, and then he did the Manly short on Frederator, which is one of my favorite shorts. We talked about it, I think, in the first episode. I enjoyed it a lot.
Very unique.
Yeah, he has a very unique art style, and his themes are always about like gods and magics and interstellar stuff. It's really interesting and engaging, but it has a very fun sense of humor. His webcomic is Forming, and Forming is on its like 240th page.
Oh my god.
He's been doing it for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been doing it since like 2009, I think. And he took a break for a while, and he does comics online for free for you to read. He also did, they come out in collections, like every 100 pages or so. Comes out the Forming collection. I'm probably going to end up getting those because it's hard for me to read webcomics because I get so distracted because they're on the internet. But Forming's really good, and it's unique. It's not safe for work. It's very, there's a lot of nudity and violence, but it's kind of...
Is it sexual nudity?
Look at that costume. His art style is very unique. It's very, it's gotten more refined recently, but it's definitely, he looks very storyboardy cartoons. Even though he didn't study animation, I think
if you go to the top there, that character on the left, that's very Mobius-esque.
Yeah, he's influenced by Mobius and a lot of Jodorowsky. But yeah, I think he went to film school. Like, he went to school for film, I think. And then he left that because film's expensive to make, and he just thought he'd make comics because comics are instant. Like, you can just put them out.
True.
And he was like, Jodorowsky did comics when he couldn't make Dune. He made The Inkle, Metabarons, which are both really great. I haven't read much Metabarons, but The Inkle's good. The next artist I'm going to talk about is somebody who I've talked to a little bit, and she's extremely awesome and probably the most hardworking cartoonist I know of, Tillie Walden. She does a comic online right now called On a Sunbeam, which is about these girls in a school in space, and there's mysterious temples and flying spaceship fish. And it's really cool. And the art is gorgeous.
It's really good. Does she color it too?
Yeah, she colors it. She does the pages.
She's phenomenal.
She uses microns, I think, for the inks. And, like, it's just line work, and then she scans it and colors it. And I think she does, like, on average, I think it's something like 30 pages a week.
Are you kidding?
That's, like, an average.
Like, complete?
Yeah, like, she does one of these updates
No
a
way.
week.
Like, from beginning to end?
One of these updates a week, I think.
This whole thing is one update?
Yeah.
Every week?
Yeah, it's something like 30 pages. It might be a little less, but it's around 30 pages.
Is unreal.
She's taking like 1 or 2 breaks because it's 30 pages a week, and it's
that sounds exhausting.
It's Tetsuko level work. In my mind, she's very Tetsuko. Well, this comic's ending. There's what update are we on the? Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry, that happens a lot.
Okay, it's on its 17th update, and I think it's going to 20-ish updates. So it's not extremely long running, but it's a super big story. It's going to be published into a book at the end, which is going to be one epic tome of the book. I'm really excited for it. She has books out right now. Yeah, outside of her webcomic on a Sunbeam, she's also done a few books like I Love This Part, The End of Summer, and A City Inside. I think I've only read A City Inside. They used to be really hard to get your hands on because they sold out. They just reprinted them, and she's been selling them online too.
They look nice.
They're really, really pretty books. I had a copy of A City Inside, but I sent it to my friend.
Cool.
Because she really likes Tillie Walden. I also need to catch up on a Sunbeam comic. It's really good. Yeah, On a Sunbeam, Tillie Walden, amazing webcomic. Like, light years beyond any other.
And this is the same person who did 30 pages a day?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's talented, dedicated, and works hard AF. Like, that's so
And she's
cool.
like 23.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I need to get my shit together.
And she went to the school I want to go to.
The cartooning school?
Yeah. And,
Damn, dude.
Yeah, she was one of the people that I asked about it. It's really neat stuff.
So she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Louis Zong. I think Bryce was the one who introduced me to him on Twitter. He's like, dude, do you not follow Louis Zong? You got to follow this guy. He's so cool. And I checked him out. He's a jack of all trades as far as like art is concerned. He's a fantastic artist. He's an amazing musical talent. He doesn't sing or anything. He just plays like a ton of instruments, and he's really good at them. Like, he just has a natural knack for all sorts of stuff. He also does like little animations. He has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if he storyboards or anything.
He storyboards on We Bare Bears.
Nice. And he's only 23.
Really?
Yeah, so cool, dude. Like, he just does like little animated GIFs. He does with music dubbed over them. Sometimes he'll just like, if you just go check out his Twitter, man, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's so cool. And does he have like a webcomic or anything?
He does a webcomic with Lauren Sasson.
Awesome.
I think he does the colors, and she does the line work. I forgot what it was called. I never read it. It looks really good, and I love their art, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
If you know, let us know in the comments. What's it called?
Yes, please do.
So I was going to talk about Lamar Abrams. If you like, again, check out his Twitter, check out his he has a webcomic, I think. So he's a storyboarder on Steven Universe, but he did like a ton of other stuff before that. I think he was actually like, they found him on the internet, and he was just doing like art and little self-published comics. A lot of
the more popular storyboard artists from Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and even Regular Show, I think, to an extent. I'm not as familiar with the people who work on Regular Show, but a lot of them actually came from comics, not animation. Because they like Rebecca Sugar and Penn Ward would go to like SPX. SPX is Small Press Expo, and outside of Washington D.C., I forget exactly where, but it happens every year. It looks like the coolest convention, and I really, really, really want to go this year. Tillie Walden's releasing a book then, and she'll be there, so I'll be able to say hi. And also, I think Brandon Graham's releasing a new book at SPX, a sketchbook. I think either SPX or TCAF, I forget. And TCAF is Toronto Comics and Arts Festival. That's really far away. I'm not going to that ever. But I think either that or SPX, he's releasing a sketchbook during. And my turn to talk about an artist.
Take it away, Bryce.
I don't actually know this artist's name. It's just Anna on Tapastic, but she has a comic called Phantasmagoria, and it's a horror comic. I'm not into horror comics in general. They're not as scary. They're just kind of hard to dwell on. Like, normally when I read a comic, I'll look at it over and over again, but a horror comic makes that harder. Like Junji Ito, who did Uzumaki. It's just like a really popular horror manga. Like, we'll put something up from that. Like, that's scary, but like you don't want to read it again. You'd read it and you're like, oh, that was creepy, but it's not like rereadable.
Not going back there.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird. But Phantasmagoria is a horror comic that has really good characters and story, and it's really relatable because it's about like people kind of becoming adults in that Scott Pilgrim-y way where everything's kind of crazy.
Cool.
And the art's really pretty and cute. And that's Phantasmagoria, available on Tapastic. I remember I've been following this comic since like chapter 1. It started off like really small and it gained popularity really quick. And she's not like, she doesn't have any like way to buy the comic or any like story or anything. She just has this comic and it's really popular. I wish more people would read it. It only has 5,500. Go ahead. So one of my favorite artists of all time, like not just webcomic artists, but just one of my favorite artists is Anna Landin. She does the comic Grassblades on Tapastic, which is about a samurai who's missing a hand, and he finds a little girl.
That's so cool.
Whose village has been massacred, and he travels around.
Dude, what a unique format there.
Oh, this is the catch-up episode.
Oh, okay. So it's not usually with all that text.
It looks like this.
Okay. For a moment, I was like, "Whoa!"
That's and it looks kind of webcomic-y, like this.
It does.
Like, yeah, but it's so beautiful, and I've been reading it for a while. She has a bunch of other comics, like Grassblades, Stranger Things. Stranger Things is not related to the show. It's
not the Netflix show.
It's about this guy who goes to a tea shop and gets tea, and the guy who runs the tea shop has a magic cat. That's like the synopsis.
Yeah, just by the way, a quick side note, we're not sponsored by any of these people. I just wanted to throw that out there. We just do this for fun, and like all the content that we throw up in front of you, that's on fair use. We're not getting any sort of monetization from this. We don't monetize our videos or anything. This is just sort of a side project. And just wanted to clarify that because somebody in our audience earlier commented on a video, and I was like, hey, that's not how it is.
It's fair use, bro.
Fair use, bro.
Yeah, but Anna Landin also has a D&D game going that's been going on for a while, and she has a character in that named Iris, and she does like comics each week, like 4 pages about her character in like that week's session. And I think it's like it's almost 200 pages worth of comics right now, and she just released the whole thing on Gumroad.
Dude, you can buy it on Gumroad. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I bought one of her comics on Gumroad, Fathoms of the Sky, which is like a 200 something page awesome story. And then she also has a Tea Witches art book, which is where she would take a tea and she'd like design a witch around a tea flavor.
Oh, that's so clever.
I ended up buying that book just to support her.
That's
awesome.
It's
such a good book.
Yeah, by the way, I just want to say real quick, for those of you that aren't sure what Gumroad is, so I just recently found out about this too, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. It's basically just like this website where you can put up prints, sketchbooks, artistic stuff of that nature, and you can just put it up for sale or for free even. Like you can just set it up as a free download. It seems like a really cool service.
Yeah, most people use it for digital items. You can still make it with physical items, but it's just a little bit more hassle because they have to like buy it and then you have to ship it yourself.
Yeah, but
there's automatic downloads if you do digital items.
Yeah, and it's not like it's anything legendary. Like Etsy probably started this whole thing first, but it's like Gumroad and Society 6, like those sorts of sites where it's just like an artist-based community. Society
6, I don't like Society 6 very much because it's not as interesting as Gumroad at all. Gumroad is like comics and everything.
There's more people on it, so it's not as selective or cool.
Society 6 is just like, I'll put up my design and then it'll be on all these items, and then I'll make pennies off of each item. Like, that's how Society 6 works.
I still think it's really cool. I support a lot of my artists through Society 6 and now Gumroad, and they have an app, Gumroad.
Yeah, I get tons of crap on Gumroad.
So check that stuff out. It's pretty cool.
Huge library of Gumroad stuff. Yeah, and Landin, pretty great.
Next creator?
Okay, so this is, I think... This is one of the first web comics I ever read, and I'm not... Okay, this is like a... I think everything we've talked about before this is actually like a comic-y comic. Like it's a story. Like it's a work of fiction. Like I think this was the first kind of autobio funny comic, webcomic that I read online, which there are so many of, and I don't like the genre that much.
Yeah, as a whole, you get a lot of lame...
Yeah, there's not a lot of good stuff, but
yeah.
One of my favorites is called the Pigeon Gazette.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a... I don't know, it's just it's so funny and charming.
It's charming, funny, her pacing is incredible, her dialogue, like just everything about it. It's just so natural and just like really well done. And that's done by Pigeoneer Jane. I got to interview her for, I used to interview artists on a blog. Link in the description.
I don't interview anymore because it's a bit of a hassle. Like it takes so long and nobody cared. So I just kind of let that sit, and people read it sometimes. But I got to interview her for like, and we did a very long interview, and we talked about tons of stuff, and that's up on that blog. And she's really neat and smart, and does an amazing comic. One last thing I wanted to talk about was there are ways to put your webcomic online. Like there's Webtoon, which I think is the most popular. I don't know how Webtoon works.
I've only ever used the Webtoon app.
But yeah, there are ways to get your comics up online that are like on a central website. Like there's Webtoon, Tapastic, Hiveworks, which Hiveworks is kind of like you can monetize your comics through that. I think cool. It's a little bit but you have to like they're very selective what they choose.
That sounds a lot like what Tapastic is doing with their coin system.
The coin system, you just email and they'll let you use it. It's not very selective. The tipping system on Tapastic is great. I've tipped thousands of coins to creators.
Cents?
It's like 10 coins is a penny.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so thousands of coins.
That can add up.
It can definitely add up if you have 5,000 readers and they each give you like
absolutely
5,000 coins. That's a lot of money.
$500.
Yeah, Tapastic is really neat. One other site that's like Tapastic but for more artsy comics is called Study Group, and it has stuff by Farel Darlymple on it.
Ooh,
he did Wrenchies. His comic on this is called It Will All Hurt, and it's 6 parts. And I think it's based in the same world as the Wrenchies.
Really Wrenchies is another great graphic novel done by Farel Darlymple, by the way.
He did this online, and you can read it free online, but you can also buy each chapter as an individual issue. It's gorgeous.
His stuff is so cool.
Yeah, he uses watercolor.
It's got a sort of punk rock kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's just how it makes me feel.
You can tell that he this was kind of him making something quickly because he wanted to make a story.
Yeah, this isn't as good as his other works. Like the quality isn't as good.
I like this just as much though because look at that layout. Also on Study Group is one of my favorite artists who doesn't get a lot of recognition. His name is Sam Alden. My friend Ava turned me on to his work.
I've never seen this before.
I had read his he has a comic on Study Group called Haunter, and it's different than anything he's done. It's watercolor and then just the characters.
His use of primary colors is really cool.
Yeah, normally he uses one of his books is all done in pencil. Like he used a mechanical pencil and a moleskin. Each moleskin page is actually 2 pages in the book. He enlarged it so that the mechanical pencil would kind of look brush strokey.
That's
when he
so
scanned it
cool.
in. And he did this in it was a 3-hour plane ride, I think. He wanted to make a comic in that time. And
within 3 hours
he made a 72-page comic that in each page is an inch by an inch and a half. Yeah, so that's like one moleskin notebook. And then he scanned that, and that became half of a book that he published. That was the story that he did called Hawaii, I think. No, it's Hawaii 1970-something or 1980-something. So it's not a lot of pages in the moleskin, but it became like an actual... Like, that's a part of a book now.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's really neat. It looks really purposeful. Like, he's really clever.
That's really awesome. I can't believe I've never heard of him.
But his comic Haunter on Study Group is about like this archer character. It's very Adventure Time.
Dude, look at how flashy that all is.
Yeah, his lighting is awesome.
That's so cool.
In all of his comics, his lighting is perfection.
Dude, I love that.
This makes me think of Hall of Egress.
Yeah.
Which was done by Tom Herpick, not this guy. This guy worked on Adventure Time, though. He worked on a couple episodes. He was a freelance storyboard artist, and his stuff is
That makes sense. I can see that.
He has other comics online on his Tumblr, which I'll link below. He's so good, dude. He's unbelievably talented.
Send me some links. I've never seen this guy before. I'm totally into it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's really cool.
And his work has a bunch of different styles. He tries to because he never likes his style, so he always tries to evolve.
I can relate to that. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so
that moves on from our webcomic portion.
So let's move on to this. Kind of overlaps with episode 1 where we talked about animation because we're going to be looking towards YouTube mainly for some web creators. So we're talking strictly about artistic types or animators. You have stuff like everybody knows, like the Odd Ones Out and Egoraptor, Jaiden Animations, and stuff like that.
Do people know Egoraptor anymore, though?
They should. Okay, for those of you that have been living under a rock or were just born yesterday, Egoraptor was the first huge hit animator who made content online. And he didn't even start on YouTube. He did this stuff before YouTube was even like a proper thing for this kind of stuff. He started on a site called Newgrounds. And for those of you that...
know how to use the internet really well.
You know what I'm talking about. So Newgrounds was this really cool site that busted onto the scene in early 2000s, like really early 2000s. And it was started by these two dudes, Tom and somebody else. And
Tom Fulp and
some other dude. But like their goal was just to create a site where they could upload content and just have it there for people to see. And initially it wasn't even anybody else. It was just Tom and his buddy. And then all these other people came up to them with ideas, Egoraptor being one of them, and they were like, let's expand the site. So Egoraptor was there when this sort of blew up. And it was mainly animators and artists.
And people who would do Flash games.
Yeah, and it became a platform for Flash games too. So any real form of like sort of geeky, artistic expression.
Unfiltered artistic.
Yeah, unfiltered.
Which
like, it's a double-edged sword.
Good or bad. It's like some of it's real crappy, but stuff like Egoraptor, like his stuff wasn't solid at first, but his art style definitely evolved, and I like his stuff a lot. His newer stuff. He's part of Game Grumps now.
Yeah,
YouTube.
I was gonna say like the evolution of his process was he got in on Newgrounds, became a hit animator, and his sense of humor was really good.
Animator and Newgrounds terms,
yeah.
Which is like less than any of the YouTube animators.
And then he moved to YouTube. He started another channel with his buddy John Jafari and a couple of other guys called Game Grumps, where they pretty much invented, or reinvented rather, the Let's Play genre of YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody knows what Game Grumps is, so...
Moving on.
It's pretty cool. Moving on. Another one, his channel is called Lazy Pillow Yotam Peril. So he's this guy who I think lives in Israel still. I'm not sure. He's like this animator who started in the early 2000s. He has some stuff on Newgrounds as well, and yeah, I just think his sense of humor is really good. His timing is really good.
I like Yotam. His stuff's pretty neat.
Yeah, and he's also pretty talented. Like, not a lot of people give him foot traffic, probably because he's always whining about how awful his life is. He knows how to play music. He's really good. He incorporates that into his work, and his videos are well made. And he's a funny guy.
Yeah, kind of South Parky with his timing. Well, like South Park meets Cyanide and Happiness.
Yeah,
it's like somewhere in between those.
A little bit, yeah. But he's cool. Another one that I just have to mention because he's super cool and he like really cares about his community. Draw with Jazza. If you Google any sort of tutorial on like Flash, Animate CC, or any of the Adobe products really, or any Wacom products as well, a Jazza video will probably pop up. He's from Australia and he's this creator who was also on the Newgrounds scene. Maybe not as early, I'm not sure, but he cares so much about teaching and art in general. So not everybody, I know like it's not Bryce's cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his content. I appreciate he seems like a really nice guy and he puts a lot of work into what he does. It's not really for me though. I don't watch a lot of YouTube animation, to be honest. This is where Brett starts kicking.
Notice how I've been talking a lot.
I watch like Vimeo shorts, or I watch a little bit of YouTube animation. Like
Vimeo is great for like odd little.
Yeah, I watch stuff like Stejkrobot or Mr. Chambers on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about them too.
And Felix Colgrave.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna wrap up Jazza. So check him out. He's actually what I watched his tutorials on how to like animate using Animate CC and Flash and all this stuff.
I think a lot of people like Jaiden from Jaiden Animations.
A lot of people did. Yeah. So he's super cool, very nice guy, and his community is rocking. So check him out. I mentioned Jaiden Animations. She was the first. Like you have Domix and you have the odd ones out and whatever. Jaiden Animations was the first one that really captured me and was like, oh, this is really nice, and she's a great personality, and her stories are really funny.
Because she doesn't seem like Domix. Domix isn't as interesting to me as Jaiden. Like, she's really pleasant to listen to. Domix is kind of like, he uses the type of humor that I'm not really into.
He does focus a lot on the negative aspect of things. He seems easily upset, and it's like, oh, if you remember the Vlogbrothers, right? So let's talk about sort of a YouTube thing. There's a bit of a tangent, but I was going to say that Hank Green of the Vlogbrothers did a video talking about how the one video on their channel that was super popular was him ranting angrily about some stuff. Like, it was political views and things. And he's like, he was really embarrassed. He's like, I can't believe that you guys would find this content of me being negative so much more interesting than John talking about, like, the political status of South Africa or something, like, really educational and just, like, really interesting. But that's just how the internet is. Like, it feeds off of negativity. And I think Domix definitely contributes to that.
Real quick, the Vlogbrothers are two brothers that vlog back and forth three times a week. It's John Green and Hank Green. Hank Green is a eco-scientist and vlogger.
Singer-songwriter.
He also created VidCon.
Oh, yeah, he did create VidCon.
And then John Green, his brother, is the author of The Fault in Our Stars and Looking for Alaska, which is my favorite book by him. I read all of his books.
And Paper Towns and a couple of others.
Yeah.
So they're both very talented guys, but, you know.
Yeah, back to animation.
Yeah, back to the more artistic stuff. How It Should Have Ended, obviously.
Yeah, they blew up.
Yeah,
like,
they're
a couple years
awesome.
ago.
And I remember when I was little, this is a funny story actually. When I was little, I would we had a computer, and because we were raised in like a sort of not hyper conservative, but it was like you have to be like less video games is more important than playing outside and learning and stuff, which is cool. But we had half an hour every day to play on the computer, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to play video games. Can I check out some Lego animated YouTube videos? Because I thought they were hilarious, and I was really fascinated with stop motion at the time, and I wanted to know how that worked. I go on there and I look up Lord of the Rings Lego animation or something like that, and their Lord of the Rings review from Hishe came up, and this is like when it first came out, and it was like not that big. It was like a couple thousand views. And I remember like there was this scene where Aragorn comes up and he's like Sauron and like calls out, and then they tease him, and then Boromir flashes Sauron his butt cheeks. And it's just like immature humor. But I was like, oh my god, butt cheeks on the internet. And then my brother came in and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry. And I got taken off the computer. And she's like, you're never going on YouTube again.
You're like, how old were you?
I was like 10 or something, maybe
you were-
9.
Yeah.
I was a little guy.
Yeah, we didn't have much computer
Yeah.
experience.
And then I came back to them later and found the video, and I'm like, oh my god, these guys are awesome. They're so funny.
Yeah, classic.
So definitely check them out. Pegbarians. These guys are really, really cool. I don't know if they're from Iceland or if they're Polish. But yeah, they're these guys that put together this YouTube channel, and they're a tiny studio of like 3 dudes, and they're freelance animators that work together. And their YouTube channel, they do like random little animated snippets and videos. They play D&D and fantasy games, and they animate over that. They do video adventures, which is like a really cool format. And then they recently started a series that analyzes animation. They do all kinds of crazy stuff on their channel, but they're really cool and very talented. So Pegbarians, they're cool. I like them. Rubberninja, or Ross. We talked about him earlier in the first episode. He's just a really cool dude. He's also part of Game Grumps, and he was part of that Newgrounds YouTube animation creation type phase of people. I'm not going to talk too much about him because we gave him a decent slot on the episode 1. Sorry, Ross. Yeah, he's really cool. Check his stuff out, and definitely look forward to his new show that he's working on. It looks really exciting.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy too.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple names. I'm just going to name them off real quick and pop their pictures up here. Carl Doonan, very funny. Felix Colgrave, oh, so good.
Like
I love his art and his videos. So good. Stejkrobot. We talk about Stejkrobot all the time. Bryce loves him, and I think you've talked to him on a couple of his live streams, right?
Just twice. But it's like, it's just, he seems like a nice guy. I don't talk to him. I've only talked to him like once. He seems really cool.
His videos are awesome.
Yeah.
For Mr. Chambers, we've also mentioned him and talked about him a little bit before. His stuff is so cool and rad. He seems just like a really chill,
He's only been drawing for a couple of years.
yeah.
Because he's not like, he's not somebody who is, he's not talented at all.
Yeah, true.
He's skilled.
He's got skill.
Yeah, he's been working his butt off.
He
for a
wasn't
couple
born
years.
with this innate ability to draw very
Yeah.
well. He's worked at it, and it's now become a skill.
Yeah.
That's the difference between talent and skill. We talked about Louis Zong. Check his YouTube channel out. Psychic Pebbles. So Psychic Pebbles and Oni NG. These two. Okay, so before I keep going, do not go to their channels if you don't like a sort of vulgar humor. It's very mature, but they're super, super funny and very talented guys. They actually got one of their series that they do on YouTube called Hellbenders, which was like a comedic thing about 2 dudes
But based
being
on
idiots.
themselves.
Yeah, it was based on the 2 guys played themselves in this show, and Adult Swim got wind of it.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going right now.
Yeah, Oni put up an update video a while ago, and he was just like, we signed, we animated, we did what we could, and it is now out of our hands. So Adult Swim is now producing Hellbenders, which was
Hopefully.
originally a YouTube show. So that's...
Hopefully they are. They might just,
I don't expect anything stellar.
but they might not even do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if they have it, they don't have to put it up on TV.
Everybody knows Weeble. He was the guy who did Badger, 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 Mushroom,
Yeah, that's, like,
Mushroom, and all
so
the other
classic.
like viral animated music. Only Lay. She's very cute, and her channel is very nice. Simon's Cat. Check that YouTube channel out. It's
That's
really
classic.
cool. Yeah, it's a classic. Everybody knows Simon's Cat. So Paperbag Animator.
Oh, dude.
Which is he only, if you go to this channel, Paperbag Animator, he only has like 3 videos up, maybe 4, but they're all so good. He did all of them himself, and he's like super talented.
Yeah, his main video, Define Intervention.
Oh, Define, yeah.
That was his student film, and it's won a bunch of awards at like animation festivals and stuff. And that has like Egoraptor doing a voice, and it's super clever and funny and super well animated. It's awesome.
So check out Paperbag Animator. Another one, Kellogg Sloops. Now, this isn't an animation channel per se. It's more like art, speed paints, and just general sort of stuff like that. I'm usually not into that sort of thing, but this guy, he graduated from RISD, or Rhode Island School of Design, and he's just really talented. He has an Instagram and a couple of other sites too. Yeah, just really cool dude, and I really dig his style. Jake Parker, of course. We've talked about him before. He's not necessarily an animator, but he is an incredible guy who has built this amazing community of artists. He did works like Missile Mouse.
He's working on Skyheart. He created Inktober.
Oh yeah, he created Inktober, which is like every October, for every day of October, you post a picture that you drew with a pen or with ink. Really cool concept. Yeah, and he's done a ton of other stuff.
There's this really cool animator on Twitter who only posts his stuff on Twitter. His Twitter name is Vegeta Sucks, and his Twitter handle is RinPlaySense. I'll link to him in the description. He is super amazing. He uses he animates on paper, scans it in. Like he's working on a short film right now. He does something that I don't see a lot in animation. He's also very Akira influenced with how he draws. Very Katsuhiro Otomo influenced.
Yeah, I can
his
see
stuff's
it.
amazing. And another animator who he puts his stuff on Vimeo. Charles Huettner. He's on Vimeo and YouTube. He created this short film called Scavengers that ended up on Adult Swim. But
awesome.
he started as an internet animator, and he would do these really awesome just like shorts. But he created this one of my favorite short films of all time.
It's so incredible.
Scavengers, which I'll find a link to the Vimeo and put that in the description. It's so good. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, his stuff's awesome. It's really stylized and unique. Like you don't see stuff like
and
Charles
it's totally digitally animated, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, like you don't see stuff like Charles Huettner going around. His stuff is really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that about wraps it up for internet creators, webcomics, and a bit of animation. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, links to everything we talked about in the description. This is a lot of links. I hope you guys take time to look at these. They're really amazing people.
And thanks for tooting in.
Good job. As always, links to us over here.
Links left, right. Have fun.
Good night.
Night, everybody. Where's the button?